Good morning to all. I am Ganesh Hegde, Assistant Professor, Government Law College, Hassan, Karnataka. The presentation of seminar on the Constitution of India Preamble as a partial fulfillment of RC in AMU. The preamble to an act sets out the main objectives which the legislation is intended to achieve. It is a sort of introduction to the statute and many times very helpful to understand the policy and legislative intent. It expresses what we had thought or dreamed for so long. The constitution makers gave to preamble the place of pride. It embodies in a solemn form all the ideals and aspirations for which the country had struggled during the British regime. In the Barbary case, the Supreme Court has said that the preamble to the Constitution is a key to open the mind of the makers and shows the general purpose for which they made the several provisions in the Constitution. The preamble is the key to open the mind of the makers, but it does not mean that the preamble can override the express provisions of the Act. In Barbari's case, the Supreme Court held that the preamble was not a part of the Constitution and therefore it could never be regarded as a source of any substantive powers. Therefore, substantive powers are contained in the body of the or articles of the written provisions of the Constitution. The preamble is only the idea, containing only idea which help in the interpretation of the Constitution. The preamble to the Constitution of India is a brief introductory statement which introduces the Constitution that sets out guidelines which guide the people of the nation and to present the principles of the Constitution and to indicate the source from which the document derives its authority, that is the people of India, and reflects the hopes and aspirations of the people. The preamble can be referred to as the preface which highlights the entire Constitution. The preamble declares, "We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, give to ourselves this Constitution." This means the Indian Constitution uh, establish a state of nature, that is sovereign state, socialist state, secular state, democratic state, republic state, and these are the nature of the state which we have to establish in India. Uh, what is the meaning of the sovereign? Sovereign means the independent authority of a state, which means no more this state is not subordinate to any other authority in the world. It means that it has the power to legislate on any subject and that it is not subject to the control of any other state, the external power. The sovereignty denotes supreme and ultimate power What is socialist? The term the socialist is not contained in the our original uh, constitution, but the 42nd Amendment Act 1976 added this term. The constitution had socialist content in the form of certain directive principles of state policy. The term socialist used here refers to democratic socialism. It implies in the preamble and the directive principles of constitution. The term economic justice in the preamble denotes nothing but ideas resolved to bring socio-economic revolution. The directive principles, particularly Article 39B and C of the Constitution, are charters of social and economic liberties of the people. The word socialism has, however, no definite meaning. It has been invariably used in both the types of constitutions, democratic and communistic. Generally, the term implies a system of government in which the means of production is wholly or partially controlled by the state. India's socialism is, however, a democratic socialism and not a communistic socialism. Achievement of socialist goals through democratic, evolutionary, and non-violent means. Essentially, it means that wealth should be shared equally by society through distributive justice, not concentrated in the hands of few, and that the government should regulate the ownership of land and industry to reduce socio-economic inequalities. For example, income tax law. Here, the government imposes a income tax on house and the proceeds distributed among the poor sections. It is distribution of wealth. The government tried to distribute the wealth. In the secular, the term secular is also added by 42nd Amendment in 1976. The term secular was also incorporated in the preamble, which means state does not practice any religion. The government acts according to provisions of the constitution. The term means that all the religions in India get equal respect, protection and support from the state. Here, the state does not practice any religion. Which ban the state has no its own religion, but our constitution gives the right to practice any religion to citizens, but ban to practice religion to state or government. The next term is democratic. This principle, democratic state. The term democratic means the government is elected by the people. The government established on the basis of majority will. The people of India elect their government by a system of universal adult franchise, popularly known as one person, one vote. Unless a citizen of India is not disqualified by law, every citizen of India attained the age of 18 years or above is entitled to vote without any other discrimination on status, on religion, or on caste, or on sex, or any other. All citizens of India have right to vote. Another principle is republic. In a republic form of government, the head of state will be elected, who is not a hereditary monarch. Usually, the head of the state is elected for a definite period. In India, the president of India is elected for a period of 5 years, which means there is no hereditary monarch to the state. Therefore, our state is republic. The preamble states that every citizen living in India has secured, say, objective of our constitution, justice, social, economic, and political. The justice stands for the rule of law. Rule of law means the supremacy of the law. No one is above the law. All state governed according to the law. It is a rule of law. There is absence of arbitrariness. There is absence of arbitrariness and system of equal rights, freedom and opportunities for all in the society. It is equality that is mentioned in from Article 14 to 18. We can't attain all types of equality, physical or intellectual, mental, etc. But we can attain the equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all. And in Article 15, 16, we see make a make a reservation for the promotion of the socially and educationally backward classes. It is also a principle to attain the equality. Next, liberty. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. It is actually it is belong to the religion. Person can think according to his will. Article 25, 26, 27, 28 are relating to this liberty. This establishes that there are no unreasonable restrictions on Indian citizens in terms of what they think, their manner of expressions, and the way they wish to follow up their thoughts in action. Fraternity is a very important principle in our constitution. This refers to feeling of brotherhood and a sense of belonging with the country among its people. It embraces psychological as well as territorial dimensions of national integration. It leaves no room for regionalism, communalism, casteism, etc., which hinders the unity of the state, which means we can't make any regionalism, state-wise discrimination. All Indians are one. The amendment of the preamble. The Supreme Court of India originally stated in the Barbary case, this is a presidential reference, that the preamble is not an integral part of the constitution and therefore it is not enforceable in a court of law, which means it is a sort of introduction. No substantive law in the preamble to the constitution. It is a just introduction. Therefore, it is not, the Supreme Court held that preamble is not an integral part and therefore it is not enforceable in a court of law, which means the principle enshrined in the preamble is not enforceable, but held that the court should consider these principles in the interpretation of the articles of the Constitution. 42nd Amendment Act 1976. After the judgment of Keshavananda Bharati case, it was accepted that the preamble is part of the Constitution. As a part of the Constitution, Parliament can amend the preamble under the Article 368 of the Constitution, but the basic structure of the preamble cannot be amended. Basic structure means it's a very important principles like say democratic, republic, secularism, socialism, and democratic. These principles are not amendable or cannot amended. The term socialist, secular, and integrity were added to the preamble through 42nd Amendment Act 1976. Socialist and secular were added between sovereign and democratic. The preamble is a very important part of our constitution, and principle contained in this part is a golden principles which help the interpretation of our constitution, and court follow these principles when they are interpreting the constitution. Thank you.